The human body is the most sophisticated machine in the known universe. We've mapped the human genome, we can transplant hearts, and we can peer into the brain. We live in an age where we believe every error code in our biology has a fix. But what happens when the machine stops following the rules? What happens when the body becomes a locked room, a site of inexplicable rebellion? Today, we're looking at cases where the medical manual ends. These are the unsolvable puzzles, real people caught in a scientific void. Symptoms are terrifying, or terrifying, and answers are nowhere to be found. We like to believe that for every pain, there is a cause, and for every cause, there is a cure. But what if that's just a comforting lie? What if the most terrifying diseases are the ones that leave no trace at all? Take the case of Liam. At 28, he was a marathon runner, the picture of physical vitality. Then, on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon 3 years ago, a sensation ignited in his right leg. It wasn't a cramp or a pulled muscle. He describes it as molten lead being poured into the bone. It started at his ankle and crawled up to his hip. It felt like his leg was being crushed in a vice, but when he looked down, there was nothing there. No bruising, no swelling, just a leg that looked perfectly healthy while it felt like it was on fire. This raises a haunting question. If your brain tells you you're burning, but your skin is cool to the touch, which one is the truth? Liam's journey began like many others, the ER, followed by a primary care doctor. Then a specialist. He underwent dozens of X-rays, MRIs and nerve conduction studies. The results? Perfectly normal. This is the specific horror of the phantom pain. When the tests come back clear, the medical system often stops looking at the body and starts looking at the mind. Liam was told it was psychosomatic, that his stress was manifesting as physical pain. But if the pain is in your head, does that make it any less real? Medical experts have a term for this: nociplastic pain. It means the brain is processing a signal that shouldn't exist. The body's alarm system is ringing at full volume, but there is no fire. We know the pain is real to the patient, but we have no way to measure it, and even less of an idea of how to turn it off. How do you treat a patient when the medicine is real, but the cause is invisible? Liam tried everything: nerve blockers, physical therapy, even ketamine infusions. To reset his brain, nothing worked. He is currently a prisoner to a sensation. With no physical cause, highlighting a terrifying reality, do we actually understand how our nerves talk to our brains, or are we just guessing? While Liam battles a body that feels too much, our second case involves a woman whose mind is feeling less and less every day. Elena was 32, a rising star. In architectural design, she was known for her photographic memory and her ability to juggle complex structural calculations in her head. Then the glitches started. It began with small things. She'd forget the name of a tool she'd used for a decade. Then one day she was driving home from the office, a route she'd taken for 5 years, and she just stopped. She didn't know where she was, what car she was driving, or who she was supposed to be. She called her husband crying, terrified because her own neighborhood looked like a foreign country. How is it possible for a brilliant, healthy 32-year-old to simply unlearn her own life? In older patients, we look for Alzheimer's or dementia, but in a young woman with no family history, those diagnoses don't fit. Neurologists at the country's top clinics were baffled. Elena's brain scans showed no signs of typical atrophy or plaques. Her blood work was pristine. Yet, within 6 months, her vocabulary had shrunk to a few hundred words. Her ability to recognize her own reflection began to flicker. This is the diagnostic odyssey. Every week, a new theory. Is it a rare autoimmune strike? A slow-acting protein? A ghost from a childhood illness? The tragedy for the family isn't just the loss of the person they love. It's the silence of the science. When a doctor says, "I don't know," how do you mourn a person who is still physically sitting in front of you, but whose essence is being erased by an invisible hand? Cases like Liam's and Eleanor's highlight a humbling reality. Despite our cutting-edge technology, are we still in the dark ages of the human mystery? We have the tools to see what is happening, but we often lack the why. Think about the gap in our knowledge. Pain and cognition are deeply personal experiences. We have a thermometer for temperature, but we have no thermometer for the human soul, or the intensity of a phantom sensation. We understand individual neurons, But do we really understand? The symphony of the brain, how billions of cells coordinate to create a mind. Perhaps the most uncomfortable question is this: is our medical system built to solve mysteries, or just to manage common problems? Medical research often focuses on common diseases because that's where the funding is. Rare, one-off enigmas like these often fall through the cracks. In these cases, the human body isn't just malfunctioning, it's rewriting the rules of biology in real time. We are looking at the scientific void, the frontier where our current knowledge ends and the inexplicable begins. Liam still feels the fire in his leg. Elena's husband still waits for a spark of recognition. In her eyes, they are the faces of the unsolvable puzzle. But there is a small flicker of hope. Every mystery case that is documented adds a data point to a future discovery. Today's enigma is tomorrow's breakthrough. Until then, these individuals remind us of the fragility of our health and the vast, uncharted territory that still exists within our own skin. Are we just a collection of organs and cells, or are we something more? We are a mystery waiting to be solved. The question is, are we brave enough to keep looking, even when the answers disappear?